Cinerama hurls you into the most extraordinary days of World War II, into the biggest battle of the mightiest war men have ever fought. Battle of the Bulge.
Well, maybe, but I don't think the Battle of the Bulge took place in a desert. Based on the World War II battle of the same name, this film was released in 1965 to mixed reviews. Starring Henry Fonda and Robert Shaw, the film follows the main events of the battle. The film gives an isolated account of the battle, with the strike for the River Meuse being centre point. In the real battle, the battles of Bastogne and Sanvith also played a massive role. In the film, the German High Command are shown to have a 50-hour clock. This is a plot device to represent the 50-hour time limit the German High Command estimated to have based on the amount of fuel. This was a problem for Germany throughout the war, especially towards the end. This was largely due to the fact German tanks were becoming bigger and heavier and required a lot more fuel to keep going. This is purely a work of historical fiction and is not true. Although the fuel problem itself is definitely true and is one of the main reasons the Germans ended up losing the battle. One of the main reasons for this is the new tanks the Germans were using at the time. The Tiger II, more commonly known as the King Tiger tank, used up ridiculous amounts of fuel. However, the tanks depicted in the film are not King Tigers at all.
A new 70-ton King Tiger tank.
As you can see from this side-by-side comparison, the M47 Patton tank and the King Tiger look pretty much nothing alike. And also, on the American side of things, M24 Chaffees are used to stand in for the M4 Shermans, which, to be honest, is less of a crime, really. But on a lower level, the uniforms are actually quite good, and they look pretty authentic. As you can see by the footage in the background, for the first half and pretty much 3/4 of the film, the set design is actually pretty good. The scenes that take place in towns, the towns look really authentic, and for the most part there is snow, which is realistic to the actual battle, which was fought in December 1944 in the Ardennes. So for obvious reasons, that's pretty authentic. On a side note, the cinematography, as far as I'm aware, is really good in most of the film. There's a genuine sense of dread once the panzers begin to crash through the trees, and I think it's filmed from a really nice angle. But personally, what I'd be dreading is what happens at the end of this film. The plot of the film is really good for the most part, although it does tend to deviate a bit from what you'd expect. For example, Band of Brothers mainly focuses on the siege of Bastogne, whereas this leans more towards the quest for the crossing at the Meuse River. I first saw this film when I was about 8, and I really enjoyed it, and I still do, especially the first bit. This is probably because once the action gets going, it keeps going for the majority of the film, and it never really slows up. However, some of the fake deaths are questionable, but that's expected for the times. The green screens are also not the best, especially when Hessler is shown in his tank and the scouts are shown on the plane, but once again, the technology was still developing, so that's excused. Okay, so now is when things get questionable. So yeah, instead of the accurate Ardennes region where the original battle was fought, they decided to film in just outside of Madrid in Spain, which literally makes no sense. So to be exact, it was the Guadarrama Mountains just outside of Madrid in Spain, which is possibly the most opposite location you could even find to the Ardennes. And obviously there's no snow, and I mean there are even times of the year where it does snow there, as is seen in this picture, but they decided to film in this, I think it was the spring it said. The actual reason to why they filmed there isn't available, and I imagine if it was, it probably wouldn't be the best explanation either. Additionally, from what I could find, the battle depicted in this scene where they push the oil barrels down the hill to hit the tanks is only very loosely based on truth, although one bit of credit I will give to this scene is at least it does play to the idea of the Germans needing to refuel their tanks, and that's the reason they feel it necessary to go to this oil dump. But still, this is based on the Battle of Sels on December the 26th, and it looks nothing like Sels, and nor did the battle really even go down like this. But this is now when things begin to get really bad. General Dwight D. Eisenhower is a legend amongst military history. He commanded the entire invasion of Normandy, and then he furthermore became the US president after the war. Now, he actually came out of retirement to chair a press conference where he publicly denounced the film for its historical inaccuracies, which includes the things I've listed in this video. The film currently sits at 6.8 on IMDb and a similar score on Rotten Tomatoes, and to be 100% honest, that's pretty much where I put it as well. I do enjoy this film, and I have done since I was 8 years old, but as I've grown older, I've seen the inaccuracies present in this film. The film does still present a really good narrative, the acting is pretty good, cinematography is fine, the writing is decent, but obviously when you're filming in the Spanish desert and it's supposed to be winter in the Ardennes, that kind of downplays a lot of what is good about the film. So yeah, I'd say a 6 to a 7 is a pretty fair rating for this film, and I definitely recommend watching it. It's entertaining, and also I think if you are into filmmaking, it does say a lot about what to do and what not to do. So yeah, a massive thank you for watching this video. Please like, share, leave a comment just saying your thoughts on the video or your thoughts on the film, and of course subscribe to the channel. The growth on the channel recently has been really good, and let's keep that going.